everyone, and welcome to Tuesday at 2. I am Marcy Horonis, and I am with Faith and Food 360, where we love all things vegan, all things plant-based, to be able to help mommies have an easier life. That is my number one goal, is to be able to provide recipes, to be able to provide tips and tricks, to be able to help mommies be health warriors in their own home. So today is going to be a little bit different. I don't know if you noticed, but Tuesday at 2 is not actually live today. I usually do a live video, but my mother actually was called in for an emergency procedure. And so as you're watching this right now, I would love for you to send out a little prayer for her, that everything goes well and all the results go well, and that she's able to move on with her life. So I would really, really deeply appreciate the prayers and the thoughts for my mother. But I didn't want to leave you hanging for Tuesday at 2, so I am going to be teaching you today how to make marinated carrots. This recipe is in my cookbook, and here is the beautiful photo. These carrots are near and dear to my heart because they were actually named after my best friend Taylor, so they're called Taylor's Marinated Carrots. We actually found these carrots at a local Italian restaurant called Mamma Tasca's, where Mama is actually back in the kitchen, and one day I go there, we're going for dinner, and they're like, I tell them that I'm vegan, what are my options? And they're like, oh, we have these marinated carrots. So they bring out these marinated carrots and I eat them, and the explosion of flavor that happened in my mouth was extraordinary. And they were cold. That was the coolest thing about these marinated carrots, is that they actually came out chilled, like crispy chili. So that was super cool. Since then, I have tried to get the recipe from Mama, and she won't give it up. I could definitely taste that there was vinegar in her carrots. Not a big fan of vinegar in my own kitchen, simply because large amounts of vinegar actually bleeds the lining of the interior of your stomach. So I try to avoid that as much as I can. But I created this recipe based off of Mama Tasca's marinated carrots, and I always used to eat it with Taylor. Taylor insisted that this recipe go into my cookbook because I believe it's better than Mama's. All right, don't tell her. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing today is I actually pre-boiled these carrots. I know this recipe so well, I don't even know how long I boiled them. No, interesting. Oh, 30 minutes. There we go. So I just boiled the carrots until they're easy to bite. So these are not crispy carrots. I want them to be tender, I want them to be soft, I want them to be able to be enjoyable. This recipe your kids should be able to eat, little kids, so nothing too hard, nothing too crispy. So I boiled the carrots. I could probably break one apart. Nope, I can't. Yes, I can. So there we go. We could break them apart with our fingers. All right, then the main ingredient, the star, is gonna be garlic. Then I have some really awesome Italian spices, a little bit of lemon, and voila. That's gonna be it. Okay, so first, I started with, how many carrots? 25 carrots is what the recipe calls for. But I didn't make that much because it's just for my little family right now. So a little bit of olive oil, I'm gonna go ahead and stir that up. You can cook this recipe when the carrots are warm. Okay, so if you boil your carrots, you chop up your 20-25 carrots, however many carrots you want, honestly. The recipe is so easy to be able to adjust. So you boil your carrots. If you take them out of the boiling water, you rinse them off with a little bit of chilled water. Feel free to create this recipe because you're going to put this recipe into the refrigerator and let it chill for 2 whole hours before you eat it. Because honestly, the best part about this is that it comes out chilled. It's like amazing. I'm so excited for you guys to be able to try this. Okay, I add a ton of garlic. Now my mom and I, we have a difference of opinion. The garlic in the recipe calls for minced garlic, just simply because I believe it's easier. Calls for a ton of garlic, but my mom swears it should be chopped garlic. So do whatever you want. Minced garlic, chopped garlic, you name it. It needs a lot of fresh garlic. Now, the wonderful thing about fresh garlic is it helps build your immune system. And we're all trying to do that right now. We're all trying to build our immune system. So I got a lot of fresh garlic in there. Enough for me and my kids to enjoy it. If you're a garlic lover, do like a lot. If you're on garlic, just add a little bit, but make sure it's fresh. Fresh is always better. Then the recipe actually calls for 2 lemons. I got these giant lemons at the grocery store, so I'm hoping they fit into my lemon squeezer. Oh, once I did. So the juice of 2 lemons, we're gonna squeeze this on here. I love lemon flavor, so the lemon flavor is super easy for me to add. Once again, but this recipe is so easy to just, you self-assess. If you're like, lemon, I'm like Marcy, I love lemon, go for 2 whole lemons. If you are not like Marcy, then you're missing out, dude. I'm kidding. Okay, so after our 2 whole lemons, then we're gonna be adding a little bit of salt. Salt to taste. Salt actually is really beneficial for the marinating process. So voila, there you go. Then we have a little bit of oregano, mustard, basil, ginger. Okay, now, if you are interested, how much ginger? You don't wanna mess this up, half teaspoon. Half a teaspoon. If you are anything like me, you measure like this. Boop. But if you want very specific measurements, I would highly encourage you to go to my website. On my website, faithandfood360.com, I have a portal and it is free resources. This recipe is gonna be on the portal along with tons of other recipes. What do we got? Mustard, 1 teaspoon. I love mustard. The recipe comes for like either you can do a half teaspoon or a full teaspoon of mustard. I love mustard. There goes my lid. Then basil. Love basil. Trick of the trade. If you could see that all my spices, I have actually taken off the lids because you know how sometimes with ginger is a little bit different because this lid it's not able to pop off. But these lids that I get are able to pop off. I specifically get these type of spices because I love spice. Spice is everything. And I am not gonna sit there and do this for like an hour. You know what I'm saying? No one has time for that. So you take the lids off of your spices and you're able to throw them in there. You're able to toss them around. It saves you a bunch of time. It saves you a lot of stress. And it is one of my cooking hacks that I absolutely love. Voila, folks. This is done. Like the easiest side dish you will ever have in your life. And it is the most delicious side dish. I'm gonna throw this in the refrigerator for 2 hours, but honestly, this is gonna be good for several days. So if you're throwing a party, if you're having family over like after church or something like that, then you can cook this the day before, let it marinate overnight, let it chill overnight and serve it the next day. The best, that is the best. But honestly, after this video, I'm gonna put a scoop of this in a bowl and like eat it right now because I love it so much. It's so good. But like I said, everyone, I have a free resource page on faithandfood360.com. Please go to my resource page. I have tons of fun resources for free for all my awesome followers that have reached out to me and asked for advice or asked for tips. So I have vegan plant-based food. I got black on my hand. I have vegan plant-based food. I have gardening tips for like backyard gardens. I also have a giant garden that I give tips for. Oh, this garlic was from my garden, by the way. I just harvested garden for the first time in my life. I'm like a newbie gardener. So I just harvested garlic, and so I'm super excited about that. I also have, I gotta show you guys. Look at this. I harvested cabbage for the first time in my life today too. Look at how great this cabbage looks. Anyways, I have gardening tips. If you wanna learn how to harvest and grow your own cabbage and garlic and potatoes, it's all on the resource page. I also have kids activities. I also have homeschool tips and tricks because I'm a homeschool mom. So get on my free resource page because I love to be able to share my information from me to you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy Taylor's Marinated Carrots, inspired by Mama Tasca.